Hey friends, I'm going to talk a little bit today because the rest of this week looks busy. I may not be able to post again for a while. I'm scheduled to hear my master, and tomorrow probably will be purchasing if there's no problems. I have to do a critical listening session with it with the mastering engineer. That's happening tomorrow. Artwork is coming together, and so that's coming together, and hopefully the money will be together too. um, a lot of activity on the VC today. It's great. It's the beginning of a new year, and really nice to see Ryan Rocks back posting. Uh, I gotta say, I feel you, Anders in Stockholm. You've posted a bunch of videos already. I know. I think I can relate. It's kind of addicting, isn't it? You get going, and it's like, I really like this. I want to do some more of this. And then when you start to hear back from people, it's just the most wonderful thing, isn't it? It truly is. So I may or may not get to your Blue Note thread today. I can say this much, that one of my favorite Blue Note albums I do not have anymore, and that's Spring by Tony Williams. I got to look and see if I still have it on CD. I sold that, and I always say it, but it's true. When I sold stuff at those times, I made sure I got money. But what I wanted to do is, I've gotten some requests. I'm not going to bother with the requests. I showed you what I bought today, which is this Brian Eno with Rick Holland. I'm going to put it on in the background. I was just experimenting to see why I get this strange clip of the audio signal when the music plays. And I noticed in other people's videos, they'll put music on it, it sounds fine. I'm assuming that it might be to do with it being, I don't know. Anyway, so I do have a few records that I purchased late last year that I hadn't showed. Nothing much, but they're still sitting down here. I'll show those, and I'll also give short reviews of the records that Chris Astral Traveler gave me, because I have taken my time to go through all those. First off is Kevin Postupak, looking nice in the Blake sleeves. Loving seeing everybody hitting up on those Blake sleeves. I'll be seeing your video in a minute, Astral Traveler. Your Blake sleeves. I see that you put one up. Thank you for this. This is very nice. Some would say it's on the light side. No. This is... Okay, I'm going to come up with my own term now, because I don't like the term New Age. This is music for living. This is life music. And what I mean by that is that music like this that is calm, relaxing, refreshing, it reflects to me other people recognizing a need for making music to live by, to live with, creating space. That's the only thing I can come to right now, but this is a good example of it. The cover graphic is perfect for the music. Very nice. Now this is going to be a mixture of stuff, because I'm going to show you stuff I've been listening to. Because of something that I heard in a recent video, I think it was Astral Traveler, I pulled out my Singers Unlimited, because I bought this, but I didn't really listen to it. And they're with Art Van Dam here. Frankly, I bought this because two things. It's on MPS. I do collect this label. And Eberhard Weber is the bass player, and Siggy Schwab is the drummer. And the band is swinging, and thankfully there are some instrumentals on here, so you can really hear the band do its thing. The singers are nice. This music, what it makes me think of is the good old days back in the 60s. Please try not to take this wrong. I'm describing this the way that it, in my mind, in the 60s, there was a perception on my part as a young black child of life that white people live that I would never live. I would never be able to, because that's how it was presented to me in the 60s. You will never have this. And this is a perfect example of the kind of music that you would hear in my mind in an upper middle class white household where everything is just fine, and you've got this really kind of groovy music going in the background. And everything is just great. And that's not a slight. I'm just describing what I think this music was for and how it strikes me, and I like it. I like it. As a little boy, I was envious that, you know, I always put my social commentary in, and that will not stop. I was always flabbergasted how these nice white people could not understand that I was human, because I loved the music, and it just didn't compute this beautiful music and this hateful attitude they had towards other humans. I just couldn't get it. Something else I pulled recently, inspired by, frankly, all the Afrocentrism that's here amongst vinyl community members. I find it interesting, kind of like, maybe you guys won't agree with me, but I think there's a bit of the same sort of across the pond sort of looking. It's like it's, you know, some of the Afro stuff is so close to me that it's just like not interesting. And that's the reason why some of the psychedelia and world musics are interesting to me, because they're not exotic anymore, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at. But something I pulled because I got a lot of black music, and I do have a lot of Afrocentric music, but I don't feel obligated to play it and represent. I used to. That's fucking stupid. I'm representing the whole fucking universe. How about that? I'm just nuts. But I was playing Akabu, and this is an all-female English-based reggae band. And can the sisters cook? In their own way. This is neat because it's reggae, but there's this African thing. And some may say, well, sure, reggae, Jamaica, and they came from Africa. But no, there's a reggae beat, there's a Jamaican beat, there's the rhythms from Africa. And this has more of that African thing happening with the reggae beat. This is very good. Very good. The sisters can play, and there is a sense of joy that literally comes through the playing and singing. And this is a small label I don't know anything about. Viva Records? I think it's an English label. Now I'm going to have to put my peepas on and see when did this come out. I've had it for a while. 1989. Yeah, made in France. This is made in France. So yeah, I had to pull it because, like I say, one of the other things about the vinyl community is I love how it's helping me to rediscover and discover anew my own collection. I had pulled this and showed this with the Italians, but right, this is French, you know. I hadn't played it. It's Magma based. It's the Zool people. Yannick Top is on here. Andre Ceccarelli. And there's a couple tracks on here that I think are kind of crap, to be honest. But mostly it's excellent, especially side 2. And when it first came out in America, I bought it because I loved the cover. Sold it because of the cheesy tracks. And now I'm stuck with this Defaced. I'd like to find a good copy of it. I love that cover. Another one of my favorites, I would say. Or I just love stuff like this. Mandalas, psychedelic, kaleidoscopic patterns. Oh, yeah, that's what I like. I've been psychedelicized. I popped this on the other night after watching some Secca Funk. He reminded me how good... Oh, actually, I pulled the wrong album. Let me find it right quick. I played this again, the Pascal Longeron, after Infinite Groove picked up his copy. Yeah, it's great. But I want to go to this, and then I'll come back to some more Astral Travel records. But Secca Funk had showed a Leroy Hutson album, and I said, yeah, I got a Hutson album. Man, this is good. Leroy Hutson, the man. It just starts off really with a big vision, you know, a choir, orchestra, very Curtis Mayfield-like, but not in a rip-offy kind of way, but in a way like, oh, man, this man is that talented too. He can do a Mayfield. The other thing I like about, and it's on Curtis Mayfield's label, Curtum. And I like this about Curtis Mayfield's albums. he always had inserts, which, frankly, for a while there, that was not de rigueur with a lot of what I was finding in black records. Not finding a lot of black records with inserts. And I think I like the fact that Mayfield said, my record's going to be just like white folks. They're going to have inserts. Now, if I'm talking in that sense a little too much for someone, it's just coming out. I really do not know. As I said in another recent video, I don't know exactly why what I say comes up or why what anyone says comes up. It just does. And I say these things just because I know that people can be offended so easily, and that's not the intent. Okay, let's get back into these records. Joji Hirota. Okay, I love this, but this is a strange record. At times he sounds like Billy Cobham on the drums. At times he sounds like Furio di... I can't say his last name, but from Italy. And then he tries these... I'll say it. I think he tries a lot of different concepts musically. Some of them are not working on here. Overall, this is really very enjoyable, but it's eclectic and kind of strange. Joji Hirota, The Wheel of Fortune. He's a great drummer. Really glad to have this. Would like to find some more of his music. This one I appreciate, the John Payne Band, Bedtime Stories. Now, honestly though, Chris, this reminds me of why I got rid of New York Mary, and also why I'm really not a big collector of funk, because some of this stuff sounds generic to me. I really appreciate this record, especially what it is, being an early album of his on a private label. It's well played, but yeah, I'm glad that everyone is being honest here. This stuff is a little cheesy to me. But it's not that it is cheesy. What I'm really saying is I'm more of a spaceman. I would much rather... I gravitate to space and rock and crazy music much more than funk and stuff like this. I appreciate it though. I don't know why, but I do. I'm a spaceman. Now this one you said reminded you of me, Polymnia. Thank you for this rare record. Thank you for the compliment, but I'm going to speak again more honestly. If this reminds you of my music, I think you need to listen to my records again. My shit is deeper than this. And that's no offense to this, but there is some cheesy, treacly shit on here. There are a couple of good tracks, and there's other tracks where it's too light. And I guess because I know what I'm doing when I'm making my records, I ain't trying to be light. It's just not getting you, it's not connecting with you. Thank you very much. Boy, do I appreciate this, specifically, primarily as a collector. It's rare. It is new age. It has some dynamic moments. It has some really fluff moments too. But I really appreciate you giving this to me. I understand this was your own copy. I'm better than these guys. You know, one of my subscribers recently left me a message after I'd made a comment that was misperceived, and she said, "Oh, this is so tiring." And I just hope I'm not too tiring. I guess I sort of suspected I might be. I repeat myself a lot. Just can't. Maybe I can stop this year. We'll see. Okay, here's something I pulled. Thinking about all this jazz. Hadn't played this in a while. Know that it's uncommon, not easy to find. And, whoa, did this blow the top of my head off all over again. Getting to know y'all. This is amazing. This is a meeting of... This is the Free Jazz Meeting Baden-Baden in Germany. And basically what it is it's the Art Ensemble of Chicago in Germany, meeting some of the cream of European free jazz players. This is we say it a lot. Truly, this is a monstrous album. I'm going to talk about it. it's called Getting to Know Y'all because what they did was they set this up. It's all on here. This is something that happened more than 1 year. Get the musicians together. No general audience. If there's an audience, it's other musicians. But the idea is to get together in a recording studio or a place for the purpose of the musicians to interact for the first time and see what happens. And this is amazing. It starts off with just one droning note that everyone... And then Lester Bowie kicks it off. Lester Bowie just starts with this subtle solo. Next thing you know, he is like, oh, and Terry Ripdahl. Terj Ripdahl is on here on guitar. Albert Mangelsdorf, John Sermon, but Terj Ripdahl is the next one who comes in and just, and then it gets to a point where they're literally screaming, verbally, where are all the voices? This is an incredible album. I'm so glad that I thought to pull this out. Very curious to know if anyone else knows this record. Amazing. Once again, thanking the vinyl community for encouraging me to go back and listen to my own shit. Of course, I got the Jan Hammer, and it's a poor quality recording, so it's for the archives. Those kind of recordings. It's hard. You really can't enjoy them. Some of my old Peter Gabriel bootlegs that are audience recordings, I can't listen to them, but I won't get rid of them. For some reason, I pulled this and was pleasantly surprised because the last time I listened to it, I thought it was just kind of okay and kind of middle of the road. It is, but it's good. Magna Carta, Lord of the Ages. Now, sometimes what happens is I don't quite get to side 2. And what I did was I made it to side 2, and then it was like, here we go. We're going to another level of the songwriting and arrangements. Spaceship Vertigo. Oh, it's got an insert. Wow. Nice insert. So that was one that got played during my sick bed time here over the holidays. I'm letting it go, but I was pretty bitter. I was pissed off to be so fucking sick over the New Year's holiday. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Okay, here we're getting into a couple things that I bought recently that I hadn't shown. I took a chance on this Michael Howell, In the Silence, on Milestone. He's a guitarist I don't know much about. The reason why I took the chance is because Benny Maupin is on the date, and so is Billy Hart. And I knew to myself is this: when you got players of that caliber, then at the very least, the arrangements are going to be competent. There are some high points on here, but Michael Howell is unknown for a reason. He's just okay as a guitar player. The high points of this album are the ensemble playing, not his solos. If for some reason Michael could see this, I would be sorry if I'm hurting your heart, but that's just how it is. I have to go through it when I read reviews, With that in mind, I appreciate Nesbitt's review of In Dreamland. He was very honest, Not surprised it's not for him. Not surprised that the Icky Blossoms is more of in his taste. I mean, I could tell by the music he plays. So, no offense taken, It can be hard listening to people say that they aren't with you, So, I'm just relating to that. If by chance Michael Howell would hear what I said about his playing. Okay. I pulled this out because I don't have a lot of Sam Rivers, but The Quest. This is awesome. With Dave Holland and Barry Altschul. And what I like about Sam Rivers playing is, how do I define it? Without a doubt, Sam Rivers speaks, like all musicians, but he speaks very, very clearly to my sensibility through his instrument. It's on the USA label, Pausa. Speaks very clearly to me through his instrument. And it's excellent. So I was listening to this. Let me see here. I should be stopping here pretty soon. I'm just going to go a little bit further. I have a couple more things that I bought to show. I found the copy of this sealed for $3. Group 87, a career in data processing. This is the band that was put together by Peter Molyneux and Mark Isham. Okay, some of this is kind of so-so, but there's several great moments on here. It was kind of like these guys were trying to find a commercial outlet for, you know, slightly adventurous instrumental music, and it's good. There's another Group 87 album, which I think is even better. Electrophon. Blake picked up Zygote on vinyl. I'm so jealous, I'll admit it. You know, I want that one on vinyl. I have it on CD. Love that cover. But I have this one. Further Thoughts on the Classics. Cheesy shit cover. Great record. Really like what he does with Debussy's Girl with the Flaxen Hair, None But the Weary Heart, and Schubert's Serenade. Electrophon. Nice. So this is another one I found recently, used for like $2 or $3 on the Steeplechase label. Once again, I took a chance because of the Billy Hart. I love Billy Hart's drumming. But this is Buck Hill Quartet Impressions on Steeplechase. And this is just okay. No, this is not some lost Grail jazz album. Buck Hill, as a sax player, is just he's pretty good. This is the kind of record that could get sold eventually again. But it was cheap. It was on Steeplechase, which caught my interest. I don't know if I showed this, but I recently found this by Tony Williams. Didn't have this before. What is this? Man, I hate being blind. Civilization. There's even some electronic percussion on here, which is kind of unusual for Tony Williams. Merely on a technicality, I can show this for Anders. It's on Blue Note. Wonderful, wonderful Blue Note. I will enter that thread though sometime very soon. But I picked that up, and I think that's about it. Yes. I'm forgetting something, but that's okay. I can't think of it. Dang it. Love you all. Hope 2012 is good to us.